Is Prince Harry a useful idiot for despotic regimes?
Well, he's gone to China for his company Travelist, which is a company that supports supposedly sustainable travel. And he's gone to give a keynote speech, a bit of which I presume is what we just heard. But I mean, does Harry know anything about China? Does he know anything about its human rights, values? And did he actually know that his father was in Canada opening the Canadian Parliament? One begins to wonder.
Hello and welcome to Celebrity Scoop. If you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button for your daily dose of all things celebrity. Today, we're taking a closer look at the recent activities of Prince Harry and King Charles. These two royals have been making headlines, but not always for the same reasons. Diving into the differences between their public personas, we'll explore the impact this contrast is having on the monarchy. In today's video, we'll be diving into the stark contrast between their public images and the impact on the monarchy. So, recently King Charles visited Canada, and it was an eventful trip to say the least. The King's journey across the Atlantic was marked by a series of unexpected developments that brought into sharp focus the changing dynamics of the monarchy's global influence. The King had barely set foot on Canadian soil when the Quebec National Assembly made an unprecedented move. This legislative body, representing the voice of the French-speaking province, unanimously voted to sever ties with the monarchy. This was not an impromptu act of rebellion, but rather a clear and resounding statement from the people of Quebec. Their message? The monarchy as an institution no longer held relevance in their modern democratic society. But the Quebec National Assembly was not alone in expressing this sentiment. As King Charles proceeded with his royal engagements, he was met with visible signs of dissent. Protesters bearing banners reading "Not My King" lined the streets, their message echoing the sentiment of the Assembly's decision. The Canadian press, widely known for its impartiality, could not ignore the palpable indifference and in some cases outright rejection of the British monarchy. The press coverage painted a picture of a monarchy struggling to connect with the people it once ruled over. The King's visit to Canada served as a stark reminder that the monarchy's influence is not as far-reaching as it once was, and that the institution is facing a struggle to remain relevant in an ever-changing world. Yet it's essential to note that the lukewarm response wasn't solely a reflection of King Charles's actions. Rather, it's indicative of a wider shift in public sentiment towards the monarchy. Clearly, the monarchy has been met with a lukewarm response in Canada. But is this solely because of the King's actions? Or is it symptomatic of a larger, more pervasive issue facing the monarchy today? These are the questions that we need to ponder as we continue to examine the changing face of the British monarchy in the modern world. Meanwhile, Prince Harry has been making his own waves in China. While his brother was receiving a less than warm welcome across the Pacific, Harry has been embraced with open arms in the Far East. This isn't entirely surprising, given his reputation for breaking down barriers and connecting with people on a personal level, regardless of their background or status. Harry's trip to China has been a breath of fresh air. He has been seen visiting local communities, engaging in cultural activities, and even trying his hand at Mandarin. Far from the pomp and ceremony often associated with royal visits, Harry's approach is distinctly more down to earth. He's been taking part in community projects, speaking with local leaders about environmental conservation, and generally immersing himself in the culture and everyday life of the people he's visiting. It's a stark contrast to the formalities and stuffiness often seen in other royal engagements. Harry's approach is resonating with people. He's showing that he's not just a figurehead, but a person who genuinely cares about the places he visits and the people he meets. This authenticity is something that people can relate to, and it's winning him plenty of fans. His reception in China has been overwhelmingly positive, with local media praising his commitment to understanding and respecting their culture. It's a testament to Harry's ability to connect with people, and it's a skill that seems to be sorely lacking elsewhere in the royal family. While Charles was dealing with protests and apathy in Canada, Harry was being celebrated in China. The difference couldn't be more stark. It's not about overshadowing anyone. It's about connection, understanding, and respect. Prince Harry's successful engagement with the Chinese audience further accentuates the contrast in public reception. The monarchy could learn a thing or two from Harry's approach, but for now, the spotlight is firmly on him, and he's showing the world a different way to be royal. Let's delve deeper into why the monarchy is losing its grip. The monarchy, a centuries-old institution, has always been steeped in tradition. But in an ever-evolving world, tradition alone can't sustain relevance. The monarchy's struggle is not so much about individual personalities as it is about an institution refusing to adapt to the times. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It simply doesn't work. Take, for instance, the monarchy's approach to public relations. In the digital age where transparency and authenticity are valued, the monarchy's carefully controlled image often comes across as out of touch. The general public craves relatability and connection, something the monarchy has been criticised for lacking. Moreover, the monarchy's relevance is being challenged by a growing number of nations. As we've seen in Canada, citizens are questioning the monarchy's role and its relevance in their lives. These questions are not born out of spite, but out of a genuine desire for a form of governance that reflects their values and aspirations. The monarchy's struggle is also a reflection of societal change. The institution of monarchy is based on hereditary privilege, a concept that is increasingly at odds with societies that value meritocracy and equality. The monarchy's inability to address these issues only serves to fuel its growing irrelevance. And then there's the issue of monarchy's cost. In times of economic uncertainty, the opulence and expense of the monarchy can be a hard pill to swallow for many citizens. This feeling is only amplified when the monarchy appears aloof or disconnected from the struggles of everyday people. In essence, the monarchy's struggle is not about one individual, be it Harry or Charles. It's about an institution that is failing to adapt to a changing world, to connect with a diverse and evolving populace, and to justify its existence in the face of growing questions about its relevance and cost. It's apparent that the monarchy's downfall isn't Harry's doing, but rather its own inability to adapt to the times. So, what can we gather from these recent events? Quite a bit, it seems. We've discussed the stark contrast between King Charles's engagement in Canada and Prince Harry's visit to China. We've seen a king who barely caused a ripple abroad and a prince who made waves without even trying. It's clear that the difference lies not in their titles, but in their approach to the people they interact with. On one hand, we have Charles, who appears to be overshadowed by his own insignificance, even when he's the only royal in the room. On the other, we have Harry, who shines brightly, not because he's trying to outshine anyone, but because he's genuinely connecting with people. We've also delved into the growing indifference and at times outright rejection of the British monarchy. This is not a passing trend, but a powerful statement from the people. The unanimous vote by the Quebec National Assembly to sever ties with the monarchy is a clear example of this. It's a wake-up call that the monarchy can no longer afford to ignore. We've seen how the British tabloids are quick to point fingers at Harry, blaming him for overshadowing the king and causing the monarchy's downfall. But the reality is, the monarchy's decline is not a result of Harry's actions, but its own inability to adapt and stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. And let's not forget, Harry is the one royal who chose to step away from the dated institution. He chose to connect with people on a human level, without the pomp and circumstance that typically surrounds the monarchy. In conclusion, it's clear that the monarchy's struggle to stay relevant is not a Harry-induced crisis, but a self-inflicted wound. Prince Harry's positive reception in China only serves to highlight this contrast, not cause it. Perhaps it's time to stop blaming the one royal who actually stepped away and start looking at the bigger picture. That's all for today's video. We hope you found this delve into the world of royal dynamics enlightening. As we continue to bring you the latest and most intriguing celebrity insights, your support is crucial. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated. Your engagement keeps us motivated to explore and present the untold stories from the celebrity world. Thank you for tuning in to today on this exploration of Meghan remember
and
to
Harry's
hit the
journey.
subscribe button before
Remember
you
to
leave.
like, comment, and
Until
subscribe if
next
you
time.
believe in truth over tradition. Until next time, take care.